Your adventure will begin when you depart your home city. An optional non-stop group flight from JFK in New York to Cairo on Egypt Air will be available. As your flight descends into Cairo, you will glimpse a view of the pyramids out your plane window. You will step into Africa's largest city and be transferred to your hotel by coach. You will be staying at the Kulthum Hotel. Named after Egypt's most famous singer, the hotel is filled with memorabilia and is located on the site of her former home, overlooking the Nile on the island of Zamalek. After freshening up, you will have a chance to meet your fellow travelers for the first time when we all head over to the Cairo Tower. From the top of the tower, taller than even the Great Pyramid itself, you will get a 360-degree panorama of the city. You may even catch a glimpse of the pyramids again as we watch the sunset over the western desert. Cairo is the meeting point for Egyptologists from around the globe, and almost any night of the week you can find one giving a public lecture. This evening, we will be attending a lecture at the Netherlands Flemish Institute. After the lecture, you will enjoy your first Egyptian meal at Felfala, a famous Egyptian restaurant that started as a vegetarian oasis but now serves meat dishes as well. Today, we will travel back in time via first-class train to Luxor. This is my favorite way to travel to Luxor because the daytime train gives you a close-up of life along the Nile, as it has been lived for millennia, and the view surpasses that available from cruise ships. The train ride will also be a leisurely time during which you can get to know your fellow travelers better. In Luxor, your home away from home will be on the west bank. Away from the hustle and bustle of the city, you will be staying in the lush green countryside among fields of sugarcane. Your hotel will be the Amenophis. The Amenophis overlooks Medinet Habu Temple and is within walking distance of many of the West Bank archaeological sites where excavations are in progress. Dinner tonight will be at the Memnon restaurant with a dramatic view of the Colossi of Memnon. Karnak Temple is one of the world's largest religious complexes. Most tours do Karnak Temple in a few hours, but we will spend the entire day at the site. You will have a chance to explore some of the rarely visited parts. You will climb hidden staircases inside temple walls, discover yet to be excavated finds, and visit the open-air museum with the newly reconstructed shrine of Hatshepsut. We will have lunch specially delivered to us so that we can maximize our time at the site. After they finally kick us out of Karnak in the evening, we will pay a visit to the Mummification Museum and will attend one of the weekly lectures there by one of the archaeologists working in Luxor. For dinner, my brother-in-law has invited us to enjoy a special and fresh, not mummified, fish and seafood meal at his restaurant, Casablanca. This morning, you will have the option of soaring over the Theban necropolis in a hot air balloon. Experience breathtaking views of the archaeological sites and lush green fields. In the afternoon, you will visit Deir el-Medina, the village of the tomb builders of the pharaohs, and learn how they lived. You also will learn how they died and decorated their own tombs. Those with sufficient energy will walk over the same route taken by the tomb builders over the mountain. They will peer down at the monuments beneath the cliffs. And finally, we'll reach the Valley of the Kings, our second destination of the afternoon. Coach transport will be available to those who prefer a less strenuous approach. There, you will have a chance to visit the new visitor center, and I will explain my involvement in this project. You will visit 3 tombs of your own personal choice, plus we will visit the tomb of Ai together. In the evening, you will cross by local ferry boat to see Luxor Temple dramatically lit up like it would have been in ancient times. The morning will be spent visiting the nobles' tombs, with their lively scenes of daily life in ancient Egypt. After lunch at the Tutankhamun restaurant, famous for its chicken curry made by Chef Mahmoud, you will return to Gourna. where you will visit the Temple of Hatshepsut and the Memorial Temple of Ramses II. During a visit to Gorner Discovery, 4 old houses and an exhibition that chronicles the history of the village over the past 300 years, you will learn about the uneasy relationship between the local population and the monuments. At the end of the day, there will be a completely optional visit to papyrus and alabaster factories to buy souvenirs for those who wish to participate. Today, we'll get a special peek into village life. Because the life led by men and women is so different, we will split into 2 groups divided by gender to head off to our destinations of the morning. The men will visit the weekly local market where everything from sandals to sheep are sold and perhaps stop off for tea and a game of backgammon or dominoes at a local cafe. The women will be joining me and my female in-laws at my house for a cooking lesson, where they will learn how to make some of the special local dishes and the famous local sunbread. When the meal is ready, the men will join us at the house for lunch, over which you will have a chance to exchange notes on your experiences. The remainder of the day will be free. Perhaps you would like to consider exploring the countryside further on donkeyback. You will begin your morning with a special visit to Medinet Habu Temple, where you will learn about the site management activities carried out there by the Egyptian Antiquities Information Service. You will also explore the Valley of the Queens and the Temple of Merneptah. Lunch will be at Sofra Restaurant, located in an old house built in the 1930s with period furniture. After lunch, we will return to the East Bank, where you will stop by the Brook Hospital for Animals and learn how for decades they have been improving the lives of Luxor's working animals and their owners. You will also visit Chicago House, where you will learn about their work recording and preserving the monuments of Luxor. You will have today entirely free. You may wish to take an optional road trip to Abydos and the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, or an optional flight to Ab Simbel to see the temples of Ramses II and Nefertari. Today, you will travel south of Luxor by private convoy to visit 3 rarely visited archaeological sites, El Tod, Moala, and El Kab, where we will visit towns, temples, and tombs. You will have lunch at Saqiya, a new farm with demonstrations of the historical farming methods used since the time of the pharaohs, which you saw depicted in the nobles' tombs earlier. You will top off your stay in Luxor with a visit to the Luxor Museum, where we will have a chance to see the new annex devoted to the ancient Egyptian military. If time permits, you will have a chance to buy some books at the Aboudi bookshop, which has some of the cheapest prices on books in Egypt. You will travel by the overnight sleeper train to Cairo. On board, you will be served dinner and breakfast in your private cabin. A visit to Egypt is not complete without a visit to the pyramids. This morning, we will tour the pyramids of Giza and their necropolis. After a lunch of pasta and salad at Bon Appetit, the remainder of the day will be spent at the Egyptian Museum, where we will pay special attention to artifacts excavated in Luxor. Our farewell dinner will be held at Abu Rami, a famous Cairo restaurant serving grilled kofta and kebab. In the morning, you will say goodbye to Egypt and the new friends you have made before boarding a plane for home. I hope you will join me to explore the living Luxor. To learn more about this tour and to register, please visit Glyphdoctors.com.